And going live. All right.
We're back.
And we are go. All right. Welcome back to the Thorn. Welcome to the Thorn 2-pack. Thomas Kiely, General Manager, Thorn Brewing Company.
Dennis O'Connor, co-founder.
My lovely assistant.
Oh,
Dennis, we made a little wager yesterday.
yeah. Nah. I can't believe for how often I've been right.
Yeah.
You still bet against me.
Well, here's the only. So the bet was
Over under on Friday.
Over under on Friday. They were going to
Tasting
shut
rooms.
down the bars.
Yep. Tasting rooms, breweries closed.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we are still going to be able to open, but the idea is bars are closed, in that people that serve liquor and not food are closed. They're giving an exemption, but I'm not going to try to lawyer you, Dennis, and try to weasel my way out of this. That being said, I would like to note that you always wager push-ups.
Yes.
And you're a very fit guy, so that's easy for you.
Well, I'm just trying to build your immunity for the COVID, which will eventually hit you. You got 2 years.
I feel like that would
It's on
work.
its way.
That would work a lot better if you didn't always bet push-ups.
Okay,
If you bet self-reflection,
Sit-ups?
then that would be something I think would be a little bit more fair. Build your immunity.
We'll get through the COVID update, but I promised these fine people that you'd be doing these push-ups on live, so we're going to see your knee push-ups here shortly.
I'm gonna do as many real push-ups as I can, or if we strategically position the camera, then I'll put my knees down and no one will know.
Tell you what I'm going to do. I'll take 20 push-ups off it if you do it with your shirt off.
I mean, I don't really care to take my shirt off if that matters to you.
So that's 80 with your shirt off. We're going big. I'll
off.
take 50 off if you do it with your pants off too.
Can I wear underwear?
No.
I meant.
Oh yeah, they won't let.
I was gonna say we got flagged when you were just showing your naked back, taking a tubby with your kid. I can't imagine we're gonna do well.
Fair enough. Okay, then it is. We're sticking with the 80 with the shirt off.
I don't care.
Okay, so COVID update, latest and greatest. I mean, that's the big one. The bars, breweries.
Yeah,
you don't
dude,
serve food, you're closed.
It happened so fast. Actually, it seems like there's still a lot of San Diego industry people that are confused because it says if you're not licensed to sell food, then you have to close. But what they did is they like a month ago when they opened up tasting rooms, the deal was everyone applied for a temporary catering permit.
Correct.
So that we could, as a tasting room, we could legally sell food that we couldn't prepare it ourselves, but we could host other people to do it. So your
drink has to come with food on the table.
Correct.
Yeah.
And for what the Brewers Guild has shared, and kind of the problem is when you get this news, you get it from the news.
Yeah.
The news doesn't know the intricacies of the laws, so when they say, "Oh, you have to have a license," it can easily be misconstrued by people that are operating tasting rooms. Like, "Oh, do I have to actually have like the type of license where I can prepare food?" And I'm pretty sure it just wouldn't make sense. I don't think they're trying to shut businesses back down. They're just trying to slow down the number of people gathering.
So I have another one.
Another what?
Another bet for you. I think before Friday they're going to close the beaches down in San Diego. Do you want any of that action?
No, definitely not, because I think you're right, because 4th of July is Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah.
No, I definitely think they're going to do that.
It's
more like when do they open them back up is the bet.
Yeah. So that's brutal though, because I kind of thought we weren't going to be doing this hemming and hawing back and forth, but if the goal is to extinguish the curve, then this is our new norm for the next 2 years, while we're waiting for some unicorn vaccine that may or may not work, that may or may not change your DNA, that no one's ever actually done before. I'm not lining up for that, bitch.
I'll get the vaccine.
I know you are.
Yeah, I'll take it all day.
Yeah, you take it.
But it will be like what the most quickly, like the fastest vaccine ever was 4 years, right?
So
if this is 2 years, then it is half as much as the fastest of all time.
Yeah, and they're saying.
But Dennis, I don't mind donating my body to science.
I don't know. Yeah, I'd rather stick with my push-ups.
Yeah, God bless you. I don't want push-ups, but also so we're still going to operate tasting rooms. I think. Oh, I thought a pallet was tipping over. We're still going to operate our tasting rooms, and I think everyone else that has been will, especially once kind of the confusion starts to settle. as to what we can and can't do. But I'm pretty sure that we're good to go.
Well, I'm curious to see what. I'm curious to see what happens on this one. I think a lot more people are skeptical of these stay-at-home orders and what's going on because after we get these statistics back and we've seen what a little bit more what this virus is. I think you definitely have a split down the line of people that think this is the bubonic plague, and there's people that think that it's nature taking its course, and it is what it is, and it's a virus, and you're going to have a tough time of bottling up. It kind of has to run its course, So I'm curious if he goes full back to stay-at-home orders, what's going to happen? Is it just going to be more social unrest and more protest, which also completely defeats the purpose of it? So
yeah, I don't think it's. We had our shot at that. I think it's done. I don't think you're not going to get enough buy-in from people.
So you think but we're going to close bars and restaurants. I don't know, man. You want to throw by the end of this month where there's a stay-at-home issue for what was it? Personal
Essential
reflection? No. What we're betting since you don't like doing push-ups. We're going to do a haiku online for these fine people. Let them know our inner feelings.
No, I don't want you to check off a box. I'm going to have you do a research paper on on white privilege.
Oh my God.
I'm going to have you do a research paper on white privilege.
Okay.
And it has to be 2 pages.
Okay.
But you have to use 4 sources. And it has to be understanding white privilege. It can't be fighting white privilege. Like, you actually have to use sources that help. So it has to be why. We'll refine the topic, but it's going to be something to the effect of why some people believe white privilege exists. It has to be with the angle of understanding the argument supporting white privilege.
I get it.
Okay.
I get it. I do, though. I'm a world traveler. I've been to almost 50 countries. I think our privilege of being born in America, regardless of any race, religion, sexual orientation.
Well, that's not the research paper.
But it's true, though. I just think most of the world lives on $1 a day, and they have to hike 5 miles to drink shit piss water. So do I think things are here? Do I think the game is rigged?
You're just taking this on a tangent.
No,
you didn't even lose yet.
Hey, I know, but I'm just saying, you're acting like I don't believe it exists. I think it does exist. And I think
then you'll have an easy time writing this paper.
I think a lot of the reasons it exists aren't because of individuals, but because of I don't know how you'd say it. It's mathematical again. I think it's more like patterns. The history is what the history is.
Yeah. Well, then I'm gonna give you sources that you have to use in the paper.
Okay. So what shit? But I got to come up with mine now. What's as big of a let me see what. Maybe I should have you write a fitness book.
Have me read The Fountainhead or something.
I'm gonna think about mine, But okay, so over under on I think suggested stay at home. I think they're gonna do a suggested stay at home before the end of this month.
Wait, suggested?
Well, it's all it was before. Nobody was writing tickets before. Nobody's writing tickets. Cops aren't writing tickets for people not wearing masks, and the mask thing is the thing. So.
That's too loose.
It's too loose?
Because I think he will do suggested. I'm thinking mandated.
There's never been mandated. It's
never essential travel.
Oh, you think? Oh, the essential worker deal? Yeah, okay. Let me think about it because I still don't even know what I'm going to bet you since I got such a great homework assignment. Okay. Let me think about my wager. So speaking of wagers, Tom, let's see your 100 push-ups. I think you got them in spades, right?
Yeah,
see what you got,
I've done
buddy.
100 total push-ups in my life, so we're going to double my total output.
We're about to double it. All right, let me make sure we get this camera set up really good here. So, and then what else you got on the thing? Pink Passion. Oh yeah, everybody out there.
Well, and beyond. We're releasing Pink Passion, Fruited Hazy IPA on July 1st, on Friday. So that's why I put that up there. Just giving it a shout out. You got to tighten that nozzle right there. And then the and beyond. Thanks, Andy. The and beyond is our newest essential, which it was Sean Steele, director of brewing operations. It was the first. Less
talky, more pushy, buddy.
I'm just trying to explain because you don't know anything about the beers. This isn't the San Diego Taxman podcast.
Let's talk
the Thorn
more.
2-pack.
Let's talk. Don't step on the table. Whatever
I'm
you
not
do.
I'm stepping over.
Holy smokes! For someone that doesn't do push-ups to think that they could step on a small, dainty wooden table, Jesus
I stepped
Christ.
over it.
You are.
I'm agile.
You're definitely in denial.
I'm an athlete, Dennis.
Okay, let's see it.
Can I?
And you got Patriots up there, which is another thing I'm not going to talk about because I don't watch sports.
Tell me,
I play them.
How am I in frame?
Oh, here, I'm going to just have to go. All right. This is even better. All right, Tom.
Actually, can I do this? Headphones. How's that?
It's good.
Okay. So, Patriots. Is that what you're asking, or you don't want to talk about it?
Oh no, I just see Patriots up there, so I'm assuming you put that's a third of a push-up.
Well, do you want me to talk into the mic?
Oh yeah, I guess so. Okay, you're gonna do 100 third push-ups. Okay.
This is erotic.
All right, so go ahead and tell us about the Patriots, Tom.
This is gonna be tough.
So
So the Patriots got Cam Newton, who was MVP like 4 years ago.
see the knees, everyone. See the knees.
Okay, I definitely can't talk. What am I at, 20?
No, you're at 11.
So
12.
the most electric quarterback the Patriots have ever had. Now a Super Bowl contender.
This is the best.
My arms hurt so bad.
Come on, buddy. Come on, fight that COVID. Come on. What's deep throat? That's up there. Is that your? Are we talking about your high school boyfriends again?
Oh, Dennis, that's the kind of comment that requires self-reflection.
Come on, talk to me, Tom.
So, the guy that wrote
You're just getting off the ground.
All the President's Men.
Not even done.
Can you turn up the gain on my microphone? My knees hurt.
Yeah. You want a pad for your knees, Tom? And that's why they call
Yes,
it Tom
I do.
Deep Throat. Okay, so
I either have to talk or do them.
no, go ahead, try both. It's not supposed to be easy, Tom. It's a wager.
Oh my God.
You're
Dude,
supposed
my
to-
arms are jelly.
You're supposed to reflect on how wrong
Oh my God.
how wrong you were.
Dude, this is torture.
So, see their world. It's either push-ups on your knees or COVID-19.
Okay, so here's the deal. The guy that wrote All the President's Men, it was like the book on Watergate. Sorry, he was the investigative journalist for Watergate. In the movie adaptation of his book, he was played by Robert Redford. Oh my God. But he's I don't think I can do this.
Those of you tuning in, Tom is paying off his wager, 100 knee push-ups. We're going to have him do the arm hangs that he talked about yesterday.
Dude, there's no way. My arms are going to fall off. It hurts so bad. I'm at like 32.
For purposes of keeping things moving, come on, Tom. I'll let you off the hook. You're going to do the rest of them after the podcast.
Oh my God. Deal.
Just because I don't know anything about Patriots or Deep Throat.
Here's the deal. So Bob Woodward was the investigative journalist. He's written like 19 books, but
You do?
he did a lot of the uncovering of Watergate. And so Deep Throat was one of his anonymous sources. Deep Throat was actually named, it was actually a popular porno movie at the time. That's where the name came from. But, so the deal is, he was considering, Brett Kavanaugh was one of his sources during the Bill Clinton, the independent investigation into Bill Clinton by Kenneth Starr. Brett Kavanaugh was on that team, and he was an anonymous source. Oh, we pick up that camera?
Yeah, I got it.
He was an anonymous source for Bob Woodward. Bob Woodward was going to out him as a source during the Kavanaugh, oh my God, hearing trials. My arms hurt so bad. He was...
Besides the fact that you're out of shape, did we learn any other lessons today?
No. Don't bet push-ups.
That's a good enough lesson for me.
So So Woodward was the... he wrote the investigative piece. Kavanaugh was one of his sources, and then he was going to out Kavanaugh as a source, because apparently Kavanaugh lied about being a source is something involved in that whole story. So people at the Post recommended that he don't do that because you're supposed to protect your sources. But he thought it would be a big story and wanted to do it. They didn't do it. So this was in 2018. Now in 2020, the New York Times just outed him, Woodward, for not outing Kavanaugh as a source.
Which in essence outed Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what does that do? I mean, the problem with that is that, I think it's like one of those things, almost like a whistleblower thing. Is there the fear that by doing something like that, breaking some unwritten rule, that you're going to stop people from coming forward and, whistleblowing? And
yes.
Yeah. So that's, I think that kind of sucks. Talk about like one of those things where people make a decision for whatever reasons they are doing it, whether it's personal gain or political gain or what have you, and could screw up the potential for really important things to get leaked at a later date, whether they're, public health or anything, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I think being a man of your word and like having those unwritten things, they're there for a reason. I think it sucks that they did that. And I don't know much about any of those people you're talking about, but that's my take on it. I just think that there was another, well, it's funny. It was actually one of my clients, I think. And he was an attorney, and he kind of screwed the pooch on some class action thing, which made it to where class action settlements or cases, you can't do them anymore for some certain things. And it's like, and the amount of lawyers that got pissed at him for that. Think about the amount of journalists that'll get pissed at these guys for that. It's like, dude, you just kind of fucked up the one thing that really allowed us to do investigative journalism.
Yep.
It's kind of rough.
Yeah, and what I think is interesting is there is a little bit of a political tilt to it, in that, like, is it that the Post and the Times want to out Kavanaugh because he was appointed by a Republican president and he's conservative? Or is it more about both the Post and the Times were so eager to break important news that they were willing to compromise the very system that they have in order to get news?
Yeah. I don't know. It's tough. I feel like right now in this political climate we're in and what's going on, I think that there's such a deep hate for Trump that I think all bets have kind of been off.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of crazy. Like I said, we talked about it before. You watch CNN, then you watch Fox just for shits and giggles, and then you watch something that Australia puts on or the UK on America, and it's like, it's insane just how you could tell that they have this specific talking points that they have to hit, and they all sound the same in the different arenas, I don't know, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. I hear you. I try to use, like, I've been struggling for years to try to get, like, good sources of news that are just, like, objective. Here's the news. Here's what's happened. No opinion.
You gotta watch,
it's hard.
Yeah, don't watch American news.
No.
Yeah.
I usually use, like, Associated Press or Reuters. Those are usually my two.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I thought that was just, it was interesting, just the dynamic of politics and news and integrity, and it, like, kind of, like, tied a lot of things together.
Yeah. That's
that
crazy.
was interesting.
Have you watched Vias for Vendetta?
Yes, it's
lately?
been a little while.
I suggest everybody rewatch that and how crazy it is compared to like what's going on right now. Even with the travel bans, right now I guess you can't. If you're American, you can't fly to Europe. Right?
Correct.
So and if this is the new norm and things are gonna hem and haw back and forth from, good enough numbers and not a good enough numbers and political jockeying to where there's just this fear, getting pushed into the minds of Americans and even just the world. I think it's heavy. I think it's and granted, I know you're going to say that I don't believe in bacteria and viruses.
Correct.
Or whatever. I do believe. I think COVID is real, but if it has a mortality rate of less than 1%, there's about a dozen other things on the CDC website that are going to kill you first. And the crazy thing is that there's a financial motive for these hospitals to put by COVID deaths. So if you're eaten by a shark but you had COVID in your system, you died. They need to change that. It should be died with COVID, because I think the infection rate is massive, but the mortality rate seems to be a lot lower. And they're starting to say now that they think 10% of the population has actually had it because they haven't been able to do enough testing, which once again just makes the mortality rate extremely low. So fucking crazy. They're gambling with a lot of people's lives, the world almost, so our economy, the world's economy, and people's health.
Yeah, but it's also like, it's got to go away somehow, right? So how do you defeat it? And is it just like,
but does
let everybody have it?
No, does it though? It's like, honestly, it's like, it's there, it's real, but it's it's fucking nature. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're the only animal on the planet that doesn't live by survival of the fittest. We can't save everybody. It sucks. I mean, I've got an older mom, and so you could say I don't believe in it. I mean, my mom's 80 years old. I don't want her to get it. I have an 8-month-old kid. I don't want her to get it either. But it's just like there's a little bit of it where it's like you can't save everybody. There's something that's happening for a reason, and I think it's got to run its course. So and it is the first time we've quarantined healthy people since civilization. So I don't think that's the right thing to do either. I think there's a little bit inherent risk in living, and I think if you're sick or you're afraid of getting sick, then stay home. But the rest of everybody else should be able to go to the beach, surf, fucking go to the park, go for hikes. Like shutting all that shit down is it's ridiculous. They're blowing it, and I think they're doing it for political stuff. So, not a fan.
I think that there are political implications to some of the decisions. I do think that they are trying to contain a pandemic. I genuinely believe that's what they're trying to do.
I think they're trying to squash it, though, and that's not going to happen. Yeah. It was flattening the curve, and now it's extinguishing the curve. You're not going to extinguish the curve.
I hear.
It's just not. It's not an option. So any level of letting people out, and maybe letting people out, and then letting them back in, and then whether it's seasonal or not, it's like all this stuff's unknown. And so to think that it's going to go away in a couple months because people stay, it's not, and it's just not. It's either going to take 2 years for everybody to get it, or 2 months, or whatever the fuck's going to happen. Flattening the curve was just to help the hospitals, but same thing. You've got some hospitals getting their dick kicked in, and then you got other hospitals that are furloughing people. So I just think that if you're going to try and do some sort of up the middle thing, then I think you need to kind of do it. So.
Yeah. Okay. Did you see the stuff with the bounties? So apparently Russia paid Taliban in Afghanistan bounties to kill American troops. And the significance of it is allegedly Trump was aware of this in 2019 and hasn't really done anything to Russia about it.
I don't know. I don't think it's a big deal. I would assume that everyone's got bounties on everybody else in war.
I similarly agree.
It's just like, who gives a shit? I mean, I'm sure our enemies want to kill whether or not they're getting promoted or not. Russia's not our friend. China's not our friend. Like, let's be real. I mean, so
there's an interest I think Trump's an absolute idiot, and I would never ever vote for him. There's no one on the planet that I can. No, that's a lie. There are very few people on the planet I would vote. He'd have to run against for me to vote for him.
I think Joe Biden's probably the only one.
I think you're ridiculous for saying that.
Put a shoebox in there. I'd vote. It's like Weekend at Bernie's. You're gonna have this brain dead guy.
But that aside,
okay.
It seems it's very clear that there's a lot of I don't like him. So I'm just going to assign whatever the blame is or the negativity is towards him. So it's like, is he like a Russian cuck, or is he like in bed with Russia? Or it seems like whatever his relationship is with Russia is just based upon whatever makes the most sense. I think
he's a big narcissist. So I think he looks at any of the relations he's getting from being president as ways that he could personally gain, whether it's during or after the fact. I just don't. I mean, I'm not a fan. I'm not. If these are our two options, I'm not going to vote. I know it doesn't do any good, but I just think I'm going to abstain like the other more than half of the population of the United States, because this is fucking bullshit. I think a lot of people feel like that, but I think he's looking out for him. I
agree,
and that's pretty much it. So I think once you figure that out, you kind of got at least you got a handle on the situation. But that's my take on him. So I don't think he's getting bitched by anybody. I just think he's looking for personal gain because that's how he's wired.
I agree.
Yeah. So
agreed. Look at us.
Wow, that's a shit. It's
a couple men agreeing.
Probably that's why we only have 4 people watching us, because we're not fighting.
All right, Dennis.
All right, is that it?
Yeah, my knees
Bounties.
are filthy.
All right, I'll put a bounty if any of you see Tom, if you make him do push-ups, I'll give you $1 for every push-up he does.
All right, that's not true. He won't give you that money.
Oh, no, I won't. He's right.
All right, be good.